So it turns out when using 100 mods in RimWorld, things can go wrong, but I think I've fixed the issue. At least we're gonna hope that's the case. And today we're gonna be playing as the 3 main protagonists from the books Harry Potter. Harry, Hermione, and Ron. To make this a bit more difficult, I've given them 0 in every skill, except they do get bonuses from their childhood and adulthood. And like, for example, I can't make Harry's animals or his social go down anymore. As far as Harry's childhood, he's an orphan, which I thought was perfect. His adulthood, he was a pet shop owner, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. However, not much is known about Harry after the books, and so it kind of leaves you open to your own interpretation. As far as his traits, we're going to make him a blood mage, which it says that he is consigned to the dark art of manipulating the lifeblood of living things as a mean of increasing his power, which doesn't really make sense because manipulating the lifeblood of living things seems like a more dark thing to do. And it says he's consigned to the dark arts. However, when Voldemort did give Harry his scar, their life forces became sort of bonded in a way. And Harry took on some of Voldemort's traits, such as one could have been that Voldemort is a blood mage. It gives him more social negotiation and trade prices, but the main thing is it makes it easier for him to tame and train animals. And the reason why I thought that was fine is because in one of the episodes, Harry does kind of tame the griffin. And so I think him being naturally good with animals would make sense. As far as his other traits, we made him iron-willed. It's harder for him to have a mental breakdown. Harry did not have many mental breakdowns. Living with the Dursleys trained up his mental, and so it's much harder for him to have mental breakdowns. He's much more used to really bad situations. As far as the third trait, I wasn't really sure what to give him, so we're just going to give him fast learner. He learns stuff quicker than others. As far as Hermione Granger, in her childhood, she was a awkward nerd, and in her adulthood, she was an AI programmer, both of which I feel like could definitely go well with Hermione. She's very research focused. She was the smartest in all of her classes, so she's also a fast learner. She's very hardworking, so I gave her industrious. And she had a lot of mental breakdowns. Like in the first episode, she was hiding in the bathroom because she got her feelings hurt. I don't exactly remember why, but yeah, she works really hard, but her nerves can get the better of her. And this trait goes perfectly with her. She has learned to see magic and science as 2 parts of the same force and is able to use arcane power to interface directly with components of technology. The main thing here, she gets more global work speed, she learns quicker, and she gets more research speed. And again, we can't make her go any lower than what we have currently. We did give her a burning passion medical because we definitely are going to need a medic. And yeah, she's pretty much going to be the researcher and the crafter. As far as Ron's concerned, he was pretty mediocre in terms of his magical prowess. However, he was more brave and he did focus more on like the athletic side of things, being that he aspired to be a Quidditch player. So in his adulthood, he was a rugby player, which we can't unfortunately do Quidditch player. In his childhood, he was an abductee, which we don't know about Ron's childhood. So this could possibly have been a thing. We'll just say that he was abducted, and then before the first movie, which I think was when he was like 8 or 10, he escaped and rejoined his family. And that was just a part of his backstory that was a bit dark, and so J.K. Rowling did not want to go over it. Since he's not very good at magic, we gave him the gladiator trait, which gives him more global work speed, more movement, and more mining speed and yield. And he also has more melee dodge chance. He's also tough, so he takes less damage, and he's nimble, so he has more dodge chance. And Ron is going to be our miner constructor, and he's also going to be good at melee. And again, we can't go any lower than what we currently have. We have the least amount of points invested here. Hermione's the same. We can't go any lower. And then yeah, Harry can't go any lower. As far as a storyteller, I really like Hildegard Epic. There's less diseases and stuff, but more raids. And we're going to play on Merciless, the hardest difficulty. Oh, this map is sick. So the seed is Hogwarts, and it's 50% coverage. Also, there's an advanced option to do 275 by 275. I chose that. And we started right here in between a few factions. These guys are at war with us, the Histusia Kingdom, and they've got 2 colonies, one up here, one down here. But then these guys, Anbrad, are neutral with us. Gosho Town is neutral as well, and Harithhair is hostile. So we got 3 hostiles, 2 neutrals. It seems like a pretty okay start. We're also starting in this boreal forest, which is really cold. Average temperature is below freezing. However, I did make a start in summer, so it's gonna be a little bit easier. When I was starting RimWorld, I never knew how people were getting these mountainous maps where like they had insane amount of mountains. But these tiles, for example, are mountainous, and we are on a mountainous tile, but we are on a dirt road. So like if we want to go over here to trade, it's not going to be that hard to get through these mountains. It's only a movement difficulty of 2, 1.3 for this large hill, and then the roads are 0.5. So we can get over to these factions pretty easily, which is great. And man, the starting area, we have some rich soil over here, and we're really enclosed. We have like a choke point over here, which is like amazing. I've never been able to have a start like this. First things first, since no one has any cooking, we're going to need to build a nutrient paste dispenser, which eliminates the risk for us getting food poisoning due to the fact that we're using terrible cooks. In order to build that, we're going to need to mine out this compacted machinery for components, and then we're going to need to mine out some steel. So we'll have Ron go do that. We want to have Harry start taming animals, but he can't do that yet because we have no food. Animals require food in order to be tamed, so we're just going to have Harry go chop some trees. Hermione cannot chop trees. She's incapable of plant work, but we can have her use her turret ability, and we're going to start attacking this Arctic coyote with this turret. Get revenged. kill it. Okay, it's down. Let's kill this raccoon as well. And what about this coyote over here? Missed. Revenged. Okay, Granger's hit. We got it though. Okay, phew. Well, for Hermione, tender wounds, they're not bad. Just a couple scratches. And that will start to get her medical going up too, which will be nice. She started with 699 medical, I guess. I guess they start with random amounts of different stuff, like 170 construction. And yeah, Hermione got a level up off of tending those injuries. Almost got 2 level ups in her medical skill. As far as Ron's concerned, we got 3 components off the last one. So we'll pick up all those. We'll have him head over here and start mining out this steel. I don't think you're supposed to normally be able to get 3 components from the compacted steel, but since Ron is a gladiator, he gets 20% more mining yield, which is also why he's getting 37 steel from each compacted steel he's mining out. In order to power the nutrient paste dispenser, we're just going to drop a wind turbine way over here. And usually I like to put these over where we grow crops, like for example this rich soil, but we're not going to have enough time to mine out all these trees. We need to get the wind turbine up ASAP, chop down these trees as well. And we need that nutrient paste dispenser, which by the way, I've never used one of these things. I'm going to have to actually test this thing out on a different save, which I'm going to go do right now. Alrighty, so I figured out how to use the nutrient paste dispenser. We've got enough steel to make the nutrient paste dispenser and the wind turbine, and so we're gonna plop those down. Everyone's pretty hungry, so we made it just in time. Before we do that, we also need to make a butcher table, so we'll have Ron get that going. He shouldn't be botching any of this because his construction's 6. Which I think 8 is where they don't botch. But yeah, he didn't botch that. We'll start making the nutrient paste dispenser. We really do not want to botch this. Ron got the nutrient paste dispenser up and running. Now we just need to get this wind turbine going. And we'll hopefully not botch that either. That would kind of suck too. We lose a component and a good amount of steel. We also need a hopper. I almost forgot. Let's put one of those down. Ron, work on that. All right, we got the hopper up. Now we need to fill it with food, which Ron is doing. And now they should start using the nutrient. Yeah, it's actually instant. They just grab meals out of it. Well, we got our hunger problem solved, which is amazing. Apparently, the nutrient paste dispenser is also more efficient with the food. It just gives them the 8 awful meal negative moodlet for 24 hours, which isn't that bad. It's way better than risking food poisoning, and like for sure be getting food poisoning if we ate meals from any of these guys with their 0 cooking skill. This room's actually pretty big, so we're gonna open this up, and yeah, there was no message that popped up like there's ancient evil inside or whatever, so I was pretty okay with opening that up. We'll plop a door on here, as well as it would be nice to make some beds in here, although I don't know if we can do that before they pass out. All right, we barely got enough wood to make a double bed. Now, normally colonists will not sleep together. However, we're gonna have Weasley and Granger sleep in this bed.
It's all right, Harry. It's all right. He's home.
And yeah, Weasley and Granger are, well, they're 18, so what they're doing is completely okay. But yeah, Weasley and Granger both got some lovin'. And essentially Hermione has 2 lovers, Ron and Harry. However, Ron has proved himself to be much more useful to us. He's been building, mining nonstop. If it wasn't for Ron, we'd be nowhere. And Harry's just pretty useless. Harry's also kind of used to this treatment, like when he was with the Dursleys. It may upset a lot of people if their lover was sleeping right next to them with another person, and yeah, they're doing it again. But not Harry. He has trained himself to be able to withstand things that would break the mental of much weaker mind individuals. And again, guys, they are 20, and oh my lord, what are you guys, again? I'm not sure even Harry can withstand this much punishment. We have a warg over here that actually took out this coyote. Since Granger's in such a good mood, maybe we'll have her finish off this warg with her turret. It would be nice to get some more leather so we can start making some clothing. And here we go. Warg did revenge, but it's injured. Okay, yeah, it's dead. I think we hit it like in its head or something. We got a lot of good shots off on it. Let's take out this boar too. Headshot on the boar. Oop, it revenged. We're getting it though. It's getting pretty low. It's really low. Nice, we got the boar too. That's a really solid kill on that boar, I think. The boar has 360 meat amount. That's actually really good. The boar gives 120 leather as well. That's really nice. And those boars are actually apparently really dangerous in close quarters. They can cause some serious wounds that keep bleeding and cause further injuries. Harry's really bummed out. His comfort's at 0%. He has a -4 moodlet for sleeping on the ground. And we're gonna fix some of that by making him a steel bed. In this room that we put a wooden stonecutter's table. These are just kind of temporary room arrangements for now until we can start cutting some of these like granite chunks, for example. And we don't want to be using steel to build with because steel is something we're going to need late game really badly. So we'd much rather use other materials to build with. And there's a lot of trees, it's just we can't chop trees very fast, which is why we're not using trees. We're also having Hermione make a winter cloak out of the leather we butchered from the boar earlier, which actually turns out to be magical leather. It's going to take a while for her to build though, and we'll probably have to finish that tomorrow because it is nighttime. Being that she is 10 in crafting, there's around a 40% chance that this winter cloak is going to be good or normal, and it turned out to be good. The winter cloak is part of a mod, and it gives 87.1 insulation against the cold, and a lot of that has to do with the material we use, the light magical leather, which gives it 40 degrees more protection against the cold. It gives almost -12 against the heat though, which means that if it's hot at all, we have to take it off immediately. Let's put on Harry and let's see if it changes his naked moodlet debuff. Yeah, it actually does. I guess it blocks his special areas. Hermione made a few granite blocks, and we're going to use that to make a fridge area around the nutrient paste dispenser. We're going to plop down a few more hoppers as well, which only cost 15 steel, just because we want to fill up these 3 hoppers and not have to have anyone go back into this fridge area. Oh my lord, he just botched the cooler. Oh, there's 2 components down the drain as well as 45 steel. And oh no, right when we were about to make food, the wind actually cut out. And so our wind turbine's not generating any power. And our new cooler that we just built is not cooling any of this meat, which is going to expire. This coyote meat is going to expire in 8 hours. Everything else is around 20 hours though, so we should be okay for that. And here we go. The wind turbine is picking back up. Or not. Well, wind turbine is not the most reliable source of power, I will say. But for the most part, it's been doing okay up till right now. We're just going to hope the wind picks up soon because everyone's going to start trying to eat this raw meat. No, Granger, do not eat the raw meat. What we can do to prevent them from eating this raw meat is we can just not allow them to go in this door. And yeah, now Granger won't even try to eat the raw meat. Oh, everyone go for the nutrient paste meal. There's actually a secret to this too. Like, so she just grabbed the meal, right? Now we can draft her, and then we disallow her from being able to use this meal. And now we can undraft her, and she'll grab a meal instantly. And we can just keep doing this over and over and over until we're out of meat. Oh, and we gotta unallow her to do that one too. And we'll have to do this for now, just because we might lose power any second. Well, to be honest, we didn't have to make that many meals. And they will all go bad in 4 hours, so we're gonna want to put them back in the fridge anyways. But yeah, that's the only way to mass produce nutrient paste meals. You can't physically make them make the meals. Like, they will just come over and use the nutrient paste dispenser whenever they're hungry. And yeah, we'll just have Ron put these meals back in our freezer for now, just because they will go bad if we do just leave them out like that. By the way, I was wondering why our cooler was not working at all, and I completely forgot to connect this power conduit to the wind turbine. So yeah, let's do that. Oh, and we got a heat wave. Oh, time to have everyone take off their wolfskin winter cloaks. These things are not going to do well in a heat wave. It's now 104 degrees Fahrenheit outdoors, and we're just going to focus on getting our rec room set up ASAP. And essentially the idea with this room is we're going to put another cooler in here. Obviously, we're not going to bring it down to freezing temperatures, but we're going to try to bring it down to something that's more manageable. I mean, it's only 97 right now because it is nighttime, but during the daytime tomorrow, it's probably going to get really hot. All right, we got the room set up, we got the cooler set up, and we moved the beds in here. And we just need to chop down these trees, add a roof to it, and we should be good from the heat wave. It is foggy, so I don't know if it's as hot today, but it is 91 and it's going up. It was just 90. And there we go. We've got our rec room all roofed in, and everyone's gonna be sleeping on the soil, well, in their beds on the soil, which is not the most beautiful place to be sleeping, that's for sure. But at least our heat stroke will go away. And yeah, Ron's heat stroke is almost gone completely. It only got up to like 6%, so it wasn't that bad. Oh, we're getting raided. It's our first raid though, and it's only by one person, an android named Marvin. Androids are part of a mod, and this android's actually pretty good. He's got a burning passion for mining, a lot of minor passions too for just a bunch of random stuff. And the thing with androids, well, I guess this is a tier 1 android. I think the higher tiers don't have a simple mind, but the lower tiers do. They get a 20 mood loop bonus, and so it's pretty hard for them to have mental breakdowns. And apparently they don't need much food, they just need some android coolant. I don't know how you make that. This guy's got really good traits too, like he's a quick sleeper. It would be nice to not kill this thing. Also, apparently the first raid is always one person. I think that goes for every storyteller, at least that's what I've seen so far. Randy Random's first raid was always only one person. We'll send out Hermione and have her drop a turret, and that turret should be able to take this thing out. Tagged him. Headshot. He's bleeding, apparently. Androids can bleed. Oh, it's attacking our turret. Okay, this thing's almost dead. If we hurt it anymore, it's going to be dead. I haven't really gone over Ron's abilities, but since he's a gladiator, he has 4 abilities. The one we're going to try out, though, is Grapple, which forcefully hooks and yanks an opponent to the gladiator, followed by a violent leg sweep, knocking the opponent down. And apparently the damage type is a stun. This thing is leaking coolant. It's going to bleed out in 15 hours. Do we have Ron use that ability? Which, by the way, I don't even know if we can bandage this thing since it is an android, so it might need like some kind of repair kit or something. We just kite it around and wait till it bleeds out, or yeah, let's just have Ron try to grapple it. I think it's not going to kill it. Oh wait, it stunned it, but it didn't knock it out. And Ron actually didn't get hit at all. We destroyed its left index finger on that attack by Ron too. I think we're just going to kite it around. I mean, it's moving so slowly because it's really weakened. Apparently these things do not bleed out because it said death in 15 hours for quite a few hours. We're going to have to just try to grapple it and hopefully we can knock it out. Resisted the grapple. Crap. Grapple again. Stunned it. Wait, can we just grapple again? It costs stamina though, right? Yeah, 8 stamina only though. It's not bad. Just knock it. Oh, we knocked it out. We didn't give it any permanent injuries. It just has a minor coolant loss, which lowers its maximum comfortable temperature. That's actually kind of cool. So it is about to get a heat stroke. Before it didn't have that, and so the heat wasn't affecting it. But yeah, let's capture Marvin, and we'll use this old bedroom that we were using for his prisoner cell. And we'll have Hermione come over here and doctor him up, and that will boost her medical a bit. We may not want to have this be his prisoner cell though, because Hermione is getting heat stroke just by being in here. I put a door between our butcher room and the freezer, and we'll have this room be his prisoner cell because it is fairly cold in here. It's 60 degrees. We got Marvin in this room, and Hermione actually has not been tending to him. She still needs to bandage up the rest of his injuries, which by the way, I don't know if he heals up over time or if we have to get some kind of bandage kit for him. He's also got a lot of resist, 31, and pretty high recruitment difficulty, 85%. So it's going to be fairly hard to recruit him. We'll just keep him here for now though, and it'll be kind of a long-term project to recruit him. As far as this heat wave though, it's still going on and it's been a few days, which is sort of a problem because we do need to prepare for our next raid, which is going to be not just one person. It's going to be like 6, I bet. I don't know how we're going to defend a raid against 6 people. We just don't have any gear yet or anything really. As far as defense for the base, I've got a design I want to try out. Essentially, we're going to have a wooden door down here, which is going to be pretty weak. If they are smart, they will just attack the door and they'll be able to get in that way. Although I don't think they're going to be that smart, at least until they have sappers. Sappers will attack the doors, but I don't think we'll get attacked by sappers this early on. There's a bunch of new buildings that were added by a mod. I think it's one of the medieval ones, but the first new thing we're going to build is this Sandstone Embrasure, which can be scaled. So I believe they will end up trying to scale that versus trying to break down the door. Like as long as there's a way into the base, they will try to take that way, even if it is going to take them a while to get through. And it looks like we got our first goods trader from the Kingdom Under the Mountain, which is on day 7. Now I'm kind of worried because in my last run, once one trader showed up, they all just started pouring in and it made my game lag really bad. And also if there's a bunch of traders in our base, it makes it so we can't really get raided, which like I'm not complaining. If there's a trader that comes every week or so and we just happen to get raided while the trader's here, that's completely fine. But if there's traders coming in like every 2 minutes and we got like 20 traders piled up in the base, it kind of just ruins the difficulty level, which is pretty much why I gave up on my last run. But yeah, so we got the basic design set up. They should hopefully try to scale over this embrasure, and we can fire over this embrasure. So Hermione's gonna have her turret set up right here, and the enemies are hopefully gonna be charging straight into her turret fire. Also, to slow them down, we can plop down these steel caltrops, which are small metal spikes arranged in such a way as to make safe passage difficult without consuming large quantities of time or injuring oneself in the process. These could be a little bit broken, and if they are too broken, then we'll just deconstruct them and not use them, because if they do end up hurting people as they travel over them, I just feel like that might be way too easy to abuse. The dwarf trader is here though, and let's ask him if he has quests. Item stash, peace talks, or arcane bandit camp. Let's do the item stash. Oh, we don't have any silver. We need 70 silver in order to get a quest. Let's see if they'll buy any of our goods. We don't really have a whole lot. Well, I guess they'll buy our meat though, and they'll buy our furs. Wait, these guys are actually a really good trader, the goods trader, eh? Unfortunately, it looks like our winter cloaks do not sell for really anything, even though they're good and made out of really good material. I think that's just a problem with one of the mods. Like, they didn't balance the cost very well, and like, for example, these tailored gloves only cost $8 and these winter gloves only cost 11. Like, that's just way too cheap. Normal clothing costs like 100 to 200 usually. But yeah, let's pick up both those gloves and let's just sell them some of our fox fur, I guess, as well as we'll sell them a bunch of coyote meat and just a bunch of meat in general. And pretty much all of our meat actually, because I think it's about to go bad. We're not doing a very good job of refrigerating it. Like even right now, our power's out and it's been a heat wave. So whenever our power goes out, that heat will just seep right into our refrigerator. And there's a crude jaw and advanced light sensor worth 2,500 at the item stash. I don't know what an advanced light sensor is. The item stash is kind of far away and it's not really on the way to anything. Like Bim Fort is hostile to us. So we have no reason, and holy cow, we're getting raided. About to say we have no reason to go up that way. And yeah, we're getting raided while this trader is literally right outside of our gates. But it looks like, holy cow, there's a vampire with a gun. He's getting sunlight exposure though, which I think is hurting him pretty bad. There's also Kali coming in who is about to run into the trader. Dang it, what kind of gun is that? A combat handgun. I don't know why the trader is not like retaliating, but I wouldn't actually mind if she killed some of them. Wait, they're running? Why? Oh, Robbie the vampire's unconscious. Okay, wait, we need to save him. Hermione, I think, got to him in time. I'm not sure what happens when the sunlight exposure gets to 100%. His HP was really low though, and Hermione's kind of just carrying him in the open. It seems like the sunlight would still be hitting him, but I haven't seen any notification that he's died yet. And yeah, it looks like we did save him. He is still alive. He's got a minor passion for shooting, and he's a careful shooter, so we could give him a gun if we do end up finding a gun. And he's also kind, which does kind of seem like it would go against him being a vampire. But I guess vampires can be kind. He's also decent with animals. He's got a burning passion for them, as well as he likes to craft. Hermione's going to be our crafter. She's got a burning passion for it, and she's at 10. So we're not going to pursue his love in crafting and all, but he does have a burning passion for intellectual. So once we build 2 research tables, we can have him help research, and we'll be able to do that pretty soon because his resist is only 21. It's not terrible, with a recruitment difficulty of 61%. We got visited by an exotic goods trader, and they won't buy any of our stuff, nor can we buy any of their stuff, but they did give us a prisoner rescue quest. We are, however, going to make use of them, or we were, and we were going to have Harry aggro this Quetzalcoatlus, a giant bird, to them. However, it's really slow. Oh, and we're getting raided. This is actually perfect timing because we got another trader here, which, like, I guess it's just good timing because the dwarven goods trader has been gone for quite some time. It's just 2 people again, and I'm guessing the reason for that is because we only have 3 colonists. I think once we start getting more, like once we start getting like the 4/5 range, and maybe we pick up like a really good weapon, we'll start getting raided by a lot more people. This guy Val's really good at combat, but he's incapable of cleaning and hauling, and he's not really good at anything else, so I don't really know if we want him to join us, but we'll see what happens. We just left the door open, and this guy's coming in. He's now attacking our nutrient paste dispenser. Do not kill our wind turbine. Oh crap. Okay, that guy's dead. That guy's dead. All right. There's also this Tetris Slug, which does actually have a range attack. We're going to try to get it to chase Ron. It's really slow, though. We can actually probably get a bit closer. It takes a while to wind up. I had Harry try to aggro it on us earlier, and this thing is just so slow. Well, we finally aggroed the Slug to outside of our base, and the trade caravan is now leaving. So they ran into each other. It did just take a long time, though, for this to happen. It's trying to wind up one of its attacks, though. Oh, it's in pain shock, actually. We could try to rescue it. If we have Hermione tend it, not only will it boost her medical skill, which is in desperate need of boosting. She only has 4 medical skill. There's also, I guess, it's only a 0.4% chance per wound tended that the animal will bond to whoever's tending the wounds. And if nothing else, it will boost Granger's medical skill. Assuming she can save it, it's going to die in 6 hours. The Tetris Slug is not going to be winning any races at 0.15 movement speed, which is extremely slow. I want to say that's like 30 times slower than most colonists. However, the cool thing about Tetris Slugs, they will slowly recharge batteries in their vicinity. And speaking of batteries, by the way, we did research battery a while ago, and I just completely have been forgetting to build one, so we'll plop down. I guess 2 batteries would be good. We just had quite the most disabled thrombos I've ever seen in my life enter our area. It's got cataracts, hearing loss, a bad back, and a stomach disorder. We're gonna have Harry and Hermione try to 2-man this thrombo, which should definitely be pretty possible. Oh crap, we gotta watch out for the turret hitting Harry though. We're gonna just try to keep it on Harry. And yeah, this is actually working out pretty well. It's not aggroing on Hermione. It's really good too because the Thrombo's fur is obviously worth a lot, as many of you know. But it also drops a lot of meat, and we just tossed away all of our meat. The giant bird we killed earlier did not give us much meat. And so yeah, this Thrombo's kind of dumb. It should definitely attack the turret, but it's not, and I'm not complaining. The Tetris Slug woke up, and unfortunately it woke up inside of our base. I was gonna try to haul it outside, but we're gonna have Harry try to tame it, and there's only gonna taming requirement of 5, but there's a 20% chance it will revenge and attack Harry, which is fairly high. Usually animals are not nearly that high unless they're really aggressive. The thing about this slug though is I think it attacks really slowly, and so I think we should be okay. It does revenge. And since its tame requirement is only 5, yeah, there's only a 79% chance that it will fail, which is not bad. Statistically speaking, if we tame it 5 times, it should join us. At least one of those 5 times. I think that's how stats work. Wait, did it join us? Oh, okay, cool. I guess the Tetris Slug did end up joining us. That's awesome. This thing does eat quite a bit, although it doesn't really have a very strict diet. It can eat pretty much anything. And I think as it's next to our batteries, it's giving them power. It does not give them that much, but it's enough to actually power stuff, because our wind turbine is not giving us enough power right now for everything. Like the nutrient paste dispenser is consuming 200 watts. The heater's taking 175 watts. So this wind turbine by itself right now would not be giving us enough power. And there's this little particle effect that was not there before. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the slug is charging up these batteries, which is pretty cool. I made it so the slug can only go in this area that's near the batteries. And mainly I just gotta remember to feed it every once in a while, or just to let it graze. Harry just got dumped by Hermione, and he has a -15 movement debuff for 25 days. Jeez. Ouch. Well, it's good that Harry's iron-willed because his mood is going to be pretty bad for quite some time. We got a combat supplier from the Shire approaching. Seems legit. Looks like Frodo's got a nice charged shotgun to sell us. Or they actually have wands too. It'd be nice to be able to buy a wand. It boosts our magical ability. Oh, and we're getting raided. We're getting raided by 5 dudes this time, so this should be a little bit more difficult. Alrighty, well, here they come. We're gonna have Hermione drop her turret right here, and hopefully they're gonna actually come through. Yeah, it looks like they're actually gonna come through the way we want them to. They're going right into the caltrops. Are they taking damage from the caltrops, by the way? Okay, this might be a little bit cheap. Okay, that guy's dead. Reef actually just went down. He's not dead. And yeah, they're running. I'm not so sure about those caltrops being all that balanced, to be honest. But on the bright side, Reef actually has 11 planting, which is amazing. We have no one that's good at planting, and he's psionic, so he's got a cool set of magical abilities. And it looks like Reef is enjoying Hermione's tending a little bit too much. These guys also brought us a wooden hammer, which increases construction speed by 33%, and also smoothing speed as well, which is really nice because Ron is, well, I guess he is pretty much done smoothing out this room. He's just got a couple tiles left, and our rec room is going to be looking really beautiful. So Robbie's Vitae meter is down to 20%, and he's about to go berserk. The reason why I know this is because I did just do a save load, because there was some kind of glitch where when he does go berserk, if we do let him out, we'll end up getting away and there's no way to recapture him. The way we can manually feed him though is we're gonna have Harry's supposed to just sit in here actually. I don't know why he's fighting back. Okay, so let's see if this will work better. I made it so Harry's not in draft mode, and yeah, I think that's working pretty well. He started feeding on Harry ASAP. Robbie's now stunned. Okay, now he's feeding on Granger. He's eating Hermione's blood, and he just got a bunch back. Let's see if Ron can step in and feed him too. Yeah, okay, cool. Ron's now stunned. Ron's now being eaten. Robbie's Vitae meter is now 80%, 90% now, and 100. His fury has come to an end, so we've successfully fed him. How's everyone doing? Ron's got a severe blood loss. He lost almost half his blood, but he's not really bleeding that bad. He's only got 1 bite on his leg, and then I guess he did get hit a few times. He's bruised. Hermione lost about 60% of her blood, but again, she's not really bleeding that bad. She only has a bite in her leg, and Harry does have a bite too, but his bite is going to heal on its own in like an hour. But yeah, Robbie's fine now, and actually Granger just ended up passing out. We're gonna have to rescue Granger. And after quite some time, Harry finally convinced Marvin to join us. I think the goal with Marvin for now is we're gonna have him do hauling and cleaning, and then later on, once Hermione is done with microelectronics, which is going to allow us to build a high-tech research bench, we'll build a couple of those, and then he can just man a high-tech research bench when he's not doing anything, and he can help us research with his 9 in intellectual. He also doesn't need a rest, I don't think, so he'll just be hauling and cleaning around the clock for quite some time. Holy cow, tame first attempt. The Elasmotherium. This thing just entered our territory, and it does have a 5% chance to revenge if tame does fail. So I was a little bit worried about that one, but it is a pack animal, and it's relatively quick, 4.42. I mean, it's not going to win any races or anything, but for a giant pack animal, this thing is pretty nice. Weasley proposed marriage to Granger. Granger agreed, and the two are now engaged. Man, Harry, you really messed up on that one, but I guess it was just meant to be. And here we go, we're getting raided by a group of lost soldiers from 8th Infantry Division. There's just 3 of them, but these guys got guns, they got a mount, like these guys are not messing around. I think what we'll do for the rest of this episode is just keep up this defensive structure that we have, and I kind of want to test it on these guys because they are gunmen. I want to see how much it affects them, which like right there, it's already affecting them. All right, now they're all in our little choke point, and we're gonna have Granger drop the turret down. Okay, that guy just hurt himself, really? Or I think they did friendly fire there. What's going on here? What are these boars doing? Why are they just sitting on top of this turret? Why is the turret not firing? What are the boars doing? They're just blocking the turret. Like, can it not see them? Okay, we have to actually manually attack them, I guess, with the turret. It's not very accurate. It's kind of hitting the walls. The walls are really tanky, though. What is this boar? I'm so confused with these boars, dude. These wild boars are just weirding me out. Okay, that guy got knocked out. That's good. What kind of boar walks through the turret onto caltrops while we're getting attacked? Like, I'm pretty sure I have not seen a boar even do that while we're not getting attacked. Just try to scale, like, it literally try to scale the embrasure, dude. And by the way, did this guy get wounded from the caltrops? I don't actually know. He's got a lot of stab wounds. I think that was from the caltrops. It looks like the turret's gonna be running out pretty soon here, and we're not really doing any damage to these guys. Dorsey shared a word about cherry trees with Tomo. That's nice. They're just having a nice chat. Our turret's now out, and so these guys are going to be coming in. Marwin, our bot, does have a gun, and so we're going to have him... Oh, man, this guy just got hurt by the caltrops again. Marwin just got tagged hard. Wow, that was an instant shot. We're going to use this, I think it's like a auto pistol, rebel pistol. See if he can get any tags. Marwin's not feeling too good right now. Nope, Harry. No, Harry, you dummy. No. Alright, well, now Ron's got to take care of business. We're going to grapple this guy in. And Ron has this Thrumbo horn from the Thrumbo we killed earlier. What just happened to that thing's mount, by the way? It just vanished. Okay, and he instantly... Wait, did he one-shot that guy? I put him in a combat mode while it was on pause, and Ron hit him with something nasty. And yeah, the traps are doing damage. Like, I feel like they're so broken. They just sit there and do damage to whatever walks over them. And it's like, yeah, late game, we do get raided by a lot of things, but I just feel like those things are so broken. Like, I don't know. Jerry Bear's gonna bleed out in 2 hours, and he's not the greatest. We don't really need any of his skills that he's got. And he's got a chemical interest, which is kind of annoying, as he'll go on binges every once in a while, and he's slow. We'll try uninstalling these caltrops, and we'll see if, well, I guess Hermione's just gonna walk over them. And yeah, it's gonna take forever to uninstall these, although Ron's over here. You might be able to do it much quicker with his faster construction skill. Oh yeah, Ron's going to town on those things. In fact, we're just gonna let Ron finish doing that. As we were carrying Jaybird back, he ended up dying. Although before he died, we did end up stripping him, and we got some pretty decent gear, I think. This infantry uniform actually lowers work speed and movement speed, and doesn't give that much armor. Although these overalls are actually pretty nice. They give animal gather speed, more carrying capacity, more plant harvest yield and speed. We'll give those to Harry, as he's the one that works with animals, and he's got a 3 planting skill, which is pretty terrible, actually. We really need Reef in here. Alrighty, Robbie the vampire ended up joining us, which is great. His blood meter actually isn't all that low, but when it does get low, I believe we can manually have him feed on other people. And yeah, actually we can have him sip on, like, for example, Harry's blood. We can also have him give other people vampirism, which could be cool. Or we can create a ghoul out of, like, Harry. Let's try sipping on his blood. Does Harry like this? I don't think he enjoyed it or did not enjoy it. I don't think he really had any opinion on it. After letting Robbie feed on him, Harry now has a blood loss, and we also use Harry's ability Blood Sacrifice, which gave him a bloody cut on his foot and on his toe. Blood Sacrifice does give Harry injuries. However, it starts filling up this separate blood meter, which is different from his main blood meter. This one's the current amount of blood he has in his body, and this meter is kind of like a magical blood meter where he uses this to draw spells from. As he continues bleeding, his blood meter continues to go up and up, and we only need 30 blood to use this ability Blood for Blood, and we're going to use it on this Ermanthian boar. I want to eventually breed these, but there's a ton of males on the map, and I think there's only one female, so I don't mind killing one of the males. Blood for Blood has a 60-second cooldown, and I'm not sure if it's going to outright kill this thing. He used it, and it's blood drain. Okay, yeah, it actually instant killed that thing, which, like, I don't know how much damage it actually does, like, if it can kill a really tanky target, but, like, these Ermanthian boars are actually pretty tanky, I think. I guess there's no way to see the HP of stuff until you injure one of their body parts. You can see the HP of that, but these Ermanthian boars have a pretty large mass, and they drop a lot of meat and leather, so I'm assuming they are pretty tanky. But yeah, he just one-shot that thing and took a bunch of its blood, which also ended up healing his cuts a bit and gave him back some blood. He now only has a blood loss of 22%, whereas before I think it was 29. I was gonna say Harry being a blood mage would make him a perfect candidate for being the target that Robbie feeds on. However, we can change Robbie's blood feed mode over to animal, so whenever he is hungry, he will drain the blood of an animal, which would be much better for us. Because when someone loses blood, they start to lose consciousness, and then they just do stuff slower and less efficiently. But yeah, I think we're gonna end the episode there. We did end up researching microelectronics. So in the next episode, we're going to work on expanding our base. There was a wall here that was blocking this wind turbine, but I fixed that by basically just removing the wall and the roof. And as far as the rec room, this is not going to be the room where people are going to sleep permanently. It's just been that way for a while because we've had a long heat wave, which is now finally over. We had a random cloth cargo drop, so we used half that to make this wooden billiards table, which they'll just use every once in a while, and it does improve their shooting ability slightly. This room will permanently be our rec room, and apparently it's a somewhat impressive rec room, which gives everyone, when they use it, a 4 bonus moodlet for quite some time. But yeah, we got 3 people that can do research now. Granger and Robbie both have a burning passion for it, and Marvin has a minor passion for it, and we'll start cranking out research in the next episode, which probably won't be coming out for the next like 2 weeks. I want to just give this episode some time to see if people like it. In the meantime, there's a couple other things I'm going to be working on, and if you guys did like this video and you want to see a part 2, drop a like on it. I want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.